Welcome to Living a Triggered Life podcast with Keith
and Roxanne, presented by The Triggered Project.
Find out more information about The Triggered Project, go to www.triggered1.com. Welcome to Living a Triggered Life podcast at sea with Keith Mascoll
and Roxann Mascoll.
And right now, of course, you're not on the boat, but we are in Old San Juan in Puerto Rico. At Cafe
Puerto
Rico.
Translation is Viejo San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Okay, thank you very much. At where are we at?
Old San Juan.
No.
Viejo San Juan.
No, where are we at?
Oh, one of my favorite places. Café Colao. I hope I said that right.
Yeah.
Colao. It's my favorite place. It has always been the best Puerto Rican coffee place that I have been to. Every time we come to Old San Juan, we come here. I used to buy beans, but now I'm high acidity, so I don't need beans. So I make sure I come and I get a coffee. And you know what's the great thing about Puerto Ricans? They're so creative. You don't drink milk, they got everything. Almond, soy, whole milk, and lactate. What coffee shop has lactate? All right, I'm digressing because I really love coffee, especially Puerto Rican coffee.
All right.
What are we talking about today? Oh, wait. I always forget this part. My bad. Keith, how you doing?
I'm a little agitated with you right now, but because sometimes, travel is hard for you and you get activated and then you're short and you're like, I'm like, yo, like you gotta record and then it's just a lot when you travel sometimes. You know what I mean? I try to do with you the best I can, but it's like both sides of the coin are true when traveling with you. That's what it's like. Both sides of the coin are true and both sides of the coin are false. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little agitated right now.
You think everybody knows what that means?
It's crazy how you talk about everybody and all this stuff. Yes, people know what that means.
All right. Do you think I know, since you want to take issue with the everybody word, do you think I know what you mean?
I don't know.
What do you care to elaborate how two sides of a coin can be all truth or two sides can be all false? Can you just sort of elaborate what, to me, since you don't like everybody, what does that mean?
That means that everything you do is wrong.
Everything I do is wrong?
No.
Everything you do is wrong?
Everything I do is wrong. Doesn't make a difference. Two sides of the coin. It's doesn't make a difference what it is. If they're both you go heads, right? You go tail, and they're both tails. That's just what it is right now. So, but that's part of what we're talking about. The fact that we've been traveling so much and we have to deal with people and that's
it's not, but it's not just people. It's people who behave badly and poorly and forget themselves.
Okay,
that's different.
okay.
I'm sure there's plenty.
Correcting me again?
No, I'm elaborating. You don't like the everybody thing, so now I'm trying to make sure that I'm communicating directly to you because you don't want me to talk about the everybody. But I am sure that there are people in the world that totally relate to what you're saying and relate to what I'm saying, and also picking up on the agitation that's happening right here.
Yeah, but like I said, are you correcting me or you're adding on to what I'm saying?
I just answered your question.
Okay. Because that sounds like...
I said I'm clarifying.
Yeah, but that's correcting.
Oh, okay.
Clarifying. Clarifying is correcting, right? Adding on to it is something different, right? Because both can be true, right? It's not about a right or a wrong. That's not what it's about. So yes, when there's a lot of people, right? There's a lot of people around. We've been around a lot of people on the boat and a lot of unattractive people.
You're an ass.
That's true, right?
No, it's perfectly true, but you still jerk.
No, but I'm just saying it's as we talk about how to navigate being activated all the time. One, the amount, you're a person that does not like to be around crowds.
No, I don't.
So the amount of people has a definite impact on you, right? And has an impact probably on a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying? Just the amount of people, because you can't control what they're going to do or what they're not going to do, right? And because there's so many people that is just doing whatever they want, trying to navigate that as a person who gets triggered and activated is just a lot because it's constant.
Yes.
Right? Like it's really just unbelievable how people, one, are not kind. Two, they look at us, right?
Oh,
And because we look different, most definitely. And we're fairly young, so to speak, or I say young appearing, right? And so there's a certain attitude that people have, a certain way they look at you and make assumptions about how you roll, what you have, what you don't have. And sometimes when people are older, they feel like they can take advantage of things.
oof.
You know what
That
I'm saying? Like that part. Like I see
that part.
but I see it all the time. And where, what I'm saying, like I'm reading people when they look me up and down, right? And it's not like I'm doing anything but walking, right? Or I'm not doing anything but
Just
sitting,
being.
just being,
Just
or
be,
just being, or sitting.
just like actually enjoying what you're doing.
Correct. Right.
Not bothering anybody, not taking people's space,
Not at all.
not ignoring that they're, that they have space, like just being on vacation.
Right. Exactly. And sometimes people have adverse reactions to that. Number one, like you can't just be, or if you come into a space, then they automatically assume you're going to be loud, and and that's it's just unbelievable how constant it is, um, with how folks are. And the other part is when you go to certain islands and stuff like that too, when there's other brown people, folks act the same exact way.
Oh,
They should act the same exact
oh,
way, right? And they go for the money.
oh,
So they just assume you don't have any money, and so they just disregard you. You know
oh,
what I'm
like
saying?
to a maximum.
Correct.
And we experienced that.
Right.
Are we gonna say where we experienced that
Sure.
on our trip?
Right.
The British Virgin Islands,
Yeah.
Tortola.
No question.
We've never been there before,
Right.
but it was the one time that I've been somewhere where people just completely made judgment about
Yeah.
what I look like, if I have money, did I look like I had money, what I was wearing, my skin color, you name it,
Right.
how young we look.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it was the worst experience I've ever had. And I'm not going to say I'm a world traveler, but I've been a lot of places. The worst experience. And what's worse is that I'm not really sure, but it seemed to me that the person that was behaving this way in this particular local shop might have been a Puerto Rican woman. I don't really know because I didn't ask, but she looked Puerto Rican. And the name of the shop was Taino Boutique. And she was, I mean, the worst. Do we want to tell them what happened? Or we just want to keep going on about the anxiety of travel?
Well, no, I think it's important that no, I think it's important that you talk about it real quick.
Well, we went in, very cute items, things I've never seen before. I love earrings, I love jewelry. I was totally ready to buy some jewelry, but we just sort of perused this very small boutique and we were just looking at everything because it seemed like it was Puerto Rican. When you see Taino, I kind of make the assumption, right? It's Puerto Rican, but I don't really know that. Maybe Taino is more of a neutral term than maybe what I don't know. Anyway, we looked at all the jewelry, watched her noticing us, but she really was noticing everybody, what they were doing. There was a lot of signs that said, please don't touch, ask for assistance, all these things. 3 signs about cameras are watching you. So maybe people have stolen from there or tried to. I don't really know. So we get to this particular, what would you call that? Rack of clothing.
Uh-huh.
There's these beautiful dresses. And we were just looking at them. There was one rack and then another rack. I didn't like the first rack. Kind of look like Vera Bradley clothing. I don't do Vera Bradley clothing. I'm not that flowery kind of person. Went to the other rack and she immediately said, what was the first thing she said? Those are designer. And we looked at her and we didn't say anything. We kept doing what we were doing, right? And then I zoned in into two particular items. And I was like sort of looking at it, beautiful items. And then she said, well, that's a small. Well, if you know me or see my body shape, I don't really present small. So, but whatever. So I was like, okay. I mean, I already knew it was a small. And then I looked at another one and it was a medium. I already knew that. And she was like, well, that's a medium. And we still did not acknowledge her. We looked at her and we kept doing what we were doing. And then she said, was it the price that she went to next, or was it that there was no stretch?
Price.
What did she say about the price?
These 135, these $135 and up, and this rack over here is 35.
That's designer. This is $35. And we just kind of looked at her again, try to give her the signal, the nice little mind your business, we didn't ask for help signal as she continued. And then she said, well, the problem with those, when she saw me zoning in on the piece again, the problem with those is that they don't stretch. So another reference to my body. Like, so she basically body shamed me and then decided that we were too poor to buy a $200 item. And yeah, she just continued. And that was the end. At that point, we were done, right? What did we do? We just decided to leave.
Yeah, I mean, but what it forces us have to do is to one, breathe, right? Because that's no, because it's important that folks have the skills. You know what I mean? Like completely relaxing, totally, like and breathe, right? And not want to lash out because we could have, right? We could have said something.
Oh, I was I was primed to say a lot of words. But what were you telling me? Because you knew I was primed to say a lot of words. What were you telling me?
I don't remember.
You were telling me we're on vacation.
Oh,
It's okay.
vacation.
Relax. Don't engage it. Like just,
No, because it's really important that you it's really important that we do that we relax, right? That we are
See, but I think that I could relax and still tell you off and
yeah,
say, excuse me, what exactly are you doing right now? Because I didn't ask you for any assistance. I didn't ask you for any help. And yet you're you're sort of throwing all these implications towards me about my body.
right, right,
Like that's your business model? Like
right,
what is it?
right. I mean, the other way was, I was thinking, hey, look, we're relaxing, we're on vacation. But the other way is that we really hit her in the wallet because we wrote on the cruise ship exactly what happened, right? Exactly what happened. Because that's what we need to do.
I
It's
think I think it's so I I think it's so interesting because is that like how something that is that how you were taught to manage controversy or these sort of these things that happen where people are just sort of yeah, it's some sort of rejection, let's say, just for lack of a better word. Is that something that you grew up with, that that's how you manage these things? Because I'm just wondering, are we different in that way?
No, I don't necessarily think we're different. I just think that um, people always want to play around with privilege, right? And that's what it's about. She played around with a privilege because she didn't think that we go back to the ship and actually have a say about it, right? Her getting a bad review from the ship because the ship owns the port is a problem, right? The fact that we're talking about it on our podcast is a problem. The fact that you'll make a post on Instagram about what happened, right? Or put it on TripAdvisor is a problem, right? So in the moment, yes, we could have been activated and said a whole bunch of stuff and came out our character and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, that was more of the trauma speaking, right? And the things that we've been through, the fact that forcing us to fight, right? But this is fighting in a different way. This is fighting in a way that our voice actually has more power to use it in that way than to scream at her in the moment, because that wasn't going to be long lasting.
But you're talking about screaming, and I don't,
No,
again,
I'm just saying screaming. I'm just saying screaming.
okay.
But
So
that makes
maybe
something to,
just so that we understand each other, like the fight.
yeah,
That's what you mean.
yeah,
Change the way you fight.
yeah.
That's your point. And
Change the
I
way you
do,
fight,
I do
right?
understand.
Because here's the thing: we can't allow her to destroy our peace, right? That's what we've been trying to do. This talk about this whole time we've been on vacation and been at sea was about not allowing other people to destroy our peace. And that's the challenge of being around so many people, right? And then also people who don't have boundaries, people that want to bump you, people that want to cut in front of you, people that want to disregard you and occupy spaces, right? Which we all deal with. And so I think that's something that's important for us to think about and to, as we continue to process, you know, is what are different ways that we can fight that actually protect our peace? You know what I'm saying? And that's why you're like, well, oh, we different. Did you learn? No, because from being, we at times are in privileged situations, right? In our professions and what we do, we're in privileged situations. So we understand what that's like. And we don't try to use power over people because that's just not who we are, so to speak. But we also know the flip side of that, right? And the fact that, yeah, I mean, we know, or as my family used to say sometimes, there's many different ways to skin a cat, right?
Whew.
From time
Let's
to
not
time.
talk about that. Head us out.
And remember, you're no longer surviving, you're thriving. Thank you for listening to Living a Triggered Life podcast with Keith
and Roxann, presented by The Triggered Project.
To find out more information about The Triggered Project, go to www.triggered1.com. And remember, you're no longer surviving, you're thriving.